Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Trojan Talk. I am Zach Taranko alongside Cole Purvis. Cole, how are you doing this morning?
Good. It's a short week. It's already Thursday. Feels great.
Yeah, it's definitely got Monday off for Indigenous Peoples Day, so definitely almost the end of the week. As you may see, no Mr. Christian Berry today for this episode, so me and Cole will be taking the majority of it, and we're definitely going to start off real quick. TA football playing Oxford Hills this week on Friday, really the preview for a state championship. Cole, people, think Oxford Hills is going to be a good game. What do you see in Oxford Hills, and how do you think TA is going to play?
I think they could be trouble. We thought Bonnie Eagle was going to be the game of the year. Now it looks to be Oxford Hills, and it's really interesting that they're good this year because back in 2019 they had a 6-5 record. So they're definitely new in being like one of the best teams in Class A, but they're definitely not a surprise. We knew at the beginning of the year they were going to be a part of that Big Three, Big Four, whatever you want to call it. And TA will definitely have a tough time stopping their offense. This is the best offense they've seen. They score a lot of touchdowns through the air, which wasn't the same with Bonnie Eagle because Bonnie Eagle was definitely a run-first team. And Oxford Hills has outscored their opponents 269-19 this year. So they've only let up 19 points, which is less than TA's let up. So definitely a very well-rounded team, and I just hope we get a good game.
Yeah, definitely. And, even if TA was to lose, they'd still be really in the top two because most of the teams have a couple losses. Are you going to make the drive up to Oxford Hills to watch the game?
I think I am. I think I'm going to go.
It's like, I think, an hour and a half away. I'm not sure if I'm going to go, but definitely going to be a good game on Friday. TA still undefeated, same as Oxford Hills. And other news at TA, the girls' soccer team had an overtime win on Tuesday night, which was their senior night, and it was a 2-1 win. Yabasir Rich had both of the goals. I was there for the end of that game, and she kind of turned on it, had a great shot, and the fan section had moved from the volleyball game to the girls' soccer game right at the end, so they were able to see it. It was a great game, and the girls' soccer team is definitely continuing to move forward, headed up to the playoffs. And Cole, next up we have the volleyball game, also on Tuesday, their senior night. I'm not sure if you were at that game, but just talk about what happened.
I did watch the replay of the live stream. They improved to 6-6 with a win over Chevrolet, 3-1. That second set was really key. They started that out with an 18-0 run, which was really impressive. You'll see in volleyball a lot of streaks like that. I mean, 18 points in a row is pretty impressive. And they're playing South Portland, I believe, their next game, and if they win that, they'll have a winning record. And it was really funny at the end of the game when the student section just left immediately.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, the student section was definitely in high spirits in that game. It was it's pretty nice. It's nice to see that, because really during basketball season you get a lot of fan section for those games, but for a sport like volleyball, it's usually not a lot of people go, so it's great to see the fan section head to that game. And last week we had the golf team had states. They unfortunately ended up in second place, but I know that I talked to some of the players who played in that in states, and they said that they didn't hit as well as they did, but to get second was pretty good. And I know that they were about 10 or 11 strokes behind Falmouth, and Falmouth's always a great team. Cole, do you have any thoughts on the golf season? I know that again, unfortunate that they didn't make it to win states, but they had a good season.
Yeah, I mean, state runner-up is definitely means you're a good team. They were down by a lot in the states. They were kind of struggling, and then they came back. So I know Falmouth has a really good team. Obviously, they won the state championship, and we have a lot of juniors that are good. So next year they'll obviously all be seniors, and we're gonna have a really strong team next year. And then the JV was good this year. He went undefeated, so we're definitely gonna have a bright future in TA golf.
Yeah, definitely. So as we start to get into playoffs, we look at the heel points, and right now we start with girls soccer. They're in fifth place, 8-4 record with that 2-1 overtime win. Really going to be, other than football, the only team that has a home playoff game. The boys soccer team is in 10th place with 5-7. They're pretty close to 9th and 8th, but 10th is a good place to sit because if you were to beat the 7 team, you wouldn't have to play the number 1 team in the standings. So definitely, not a bad place to be with the playoffs coming up. Field hockey tied at 9th with Noble at 5-7-1. A couple games left in their season, and then as you said, girls volleyball in 11th at 6-6. They just won senior night to go even at 500. Cole, you see these teams, really it's football and girls soccer. Who do you think it has the best chance, let's say other than football, to win a state championship?
Well, I mean, girls soccer definitely knows how to play late in the game. They've had a lot of close games, and they've been able to just win when it matters. So I definitely think they have a good chance. But like you said, football, it definitely looks like the football team has a great chance at the state championship. Nobody's really stopped them yet, and we'll see if Oxford Hills can. But if DIA can go into Oxford Hills and get a win on the road, I would definitely say they're strong favorites to win the state championship.
And speaking of football, we're now going to have our interview for the episode with the quarterback of the varsity football team, Jack Emerson.
All right, and now we're going to be welcoming in Thornton Academy quarterback Jack Emerson. How you doing, Jack?
Good, thank you for having me.
Excellent, no problem. So let's get right into it. So just talk about the season so far. So you guys come in as one of the favorites, but last year you really didn't get to do a whole lot. Just take us quickly through that experience last year. What was it like just doing 7-on-7s? And it was better than nothing, but it wasn't really that much to kind of have a season.
Yeah, it was for sure for a little weird, not being able to play actual games, just having the skilled kids out there, no linemen, and not really practicing for any big games. So it was a little weird for sure.
Now you get into this year, obviously, and you guys have practice and in the games, and you like to run and you like to use your shoulder pads and your helmet to do the talking. So what was it, for those of us who have never really got to experience it, what did it feel like the first time you were able to just run someone over in a game and just, be able to just show how all of your hard work is paid off?
It feels good for sure. There's a lot of off-season work with the team and stuff, and a lot of weight room. So that's a big part of going to season, being ready mentally and physically. So it felt good to be able to show that.
Did you get to practice that? Like when you're running, and I mean, obviously you probably, but you're the quarterback, and they want to be sensitive to that and keep you safe as much as possible. So how do you practice that kind of thing during the week, like just to putting lowering your shoulder and getting those extra few yards?
It's more of just like kind of a mindset, honestly. Coach always says if we need that extra yards, use your shoulder pads, use your body momentum forward. So, just kind of like a little mindset type of thing.
Awesome.
For sure.
So obviously, about 3/4 of the way through the season, what is your favorite moment so far from any of the games or practices?
To be honest with you, it's definitely the spags, the spaghetti dinners with the teams. That's a really good bonding moment. A lot of funny things happen. Not being with the team for so long, then this coming back, having the spags with everybody, it's for sure like a great moment for sure.
Awesome. We actually have a question on the spags coming up. It's interesting to talk. So who you got the flow going on right now. Yeah. So we'll take yourself out of it because who has the best flow on the team besides you? Would you say
Brent Pollen?
Okay, what describe what that is, because we see, obviously you guys get to see each other a lot with your helmets off. We only see what's kind of sticking out of the helmet. So what is his flow like?
He's got a mullet too, so it's kind of like a little duo going on, center quarterback mullet duo. So it's pretty funny.
And how long have you guys been growing those out?
About a year.
Okay, so that's serious.
He's been going a little bit longer than me. He's probably been like a year and a few months now. So. Yeah. His is a little bit longer than mine for sure.
All right, and you're obviously going to keep it through the season, right? I mean,
yeah, of course,
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. So, what would you say the best part about being a player or just being a part of the TA football program?
I'd say the energy that the crowd brings to the games. It's a great feeling having everybody out there watching you. It almost makes you play better knowing everybody's cheering you on, stuff like that. All the people, watching and supporting you. That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the spags earlier. We see a lot of the pictures after the fact posted on some of the TA social media. What has been the best spag so far this year, and what makes a good spag? Is it the actual food that's made? Is it the basketball games or whatever else you do? Like, what's the best this year, and what makes a great spag?
Our last spag at Jonathan Branko's house was pretty funny. We made up some weird game with a water bottle. We'd throw it up in the air, and whoever caught it last you were out. So it was funny. That was a good one.
And what's the best food of this bag for you? Like, what's your go-to when you see that? You just house it.
I mound up my plate. I put everything on there. I got the spaghetti, the meatballs, all the baked goods.
That's good. Well, I'm just happy that no one gets hurt, because I was at a spag once many years ago, and someone, they were playing a game, and someone rolled their ankle. Coach Kiesel was so mad. Thankfully, we were playing, I don't know, Massabesic or somebody that week, but it was just I always see those pictures, and I was just like, oh God, thank God nobody got hurt playing basketball or doing whatever, especially if you make up the game on the spot. And I wasn't even playing a sport. I was just playing something we made up, and then, rolled something. So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Next question is, do you ever miss not being able to be a part of like the student section for games like the Blackout or even just normal games?
Well, to be honest with you, I was never really a part of the student section because freshman year I got pulled up a few weeks into the season since Hayden Promolo got hurt. And then before that, I was kind of just watching the game with my parents, so I never really was a part of the student section. So like, I never really had that feeling of the student section.
Yeah.
But what is it like on that Blackout game especially? I mean, you guys know what's coming once, that second half happens and the powder goes up. But what is it like being on the sidelines looking back up and seeing, 500 students maybe in that section?
It's wild, and it's very loud. It's great. I love every moment of it.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing a lot of on your social media looking at colleges, obviously, and scholarships come into a factor. So what are you looking for in a potential college location? Is it really about playing time? Is it about the campus? Is it about the academics? Like, what are you looking for?
Right now it's for playing time and money, like scholarship, all that stuff. That goes a long way. But I'm kind of looking like I want to be like out of New England. But Maine, that'd be pretty cool. So bigger schools like that would be great.
No, it's interesting because we've had, especially in Maine, we've had two different types of players. You have players who get scholarships to places like maybe UMaine or a D2 or D3 school, but then you've had a few guys who have walked on to bigger colleges. There was a guy from Cheverus who went to Ohio State. I don't think he ever got in a game, but he was on the sideline for a lot of games. And is that ever crossed your mind, like going to this big school, trying to be a walk-on, just be part of the program, maybe not playing, or is it playing is the biggest factor for you?
Playing's probably a big factor for me. I really want to play, so all that goes a long ways. Playing would be pretty cool in college.
What would be your dream school to play? Let's just say you got a scholarship offer any place in the country. What's your team to play for?
Texas Longhorns.
Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em horns. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah. Well, most people say Alabama, but I think Texas would be fun.
Yeah, Texas
like
is
that
great.
area of the country, just like that atmosphere. Get to play Oklahoma too. That's cool.
Yeah.
Who would you say? Let's look at the team. Who would you say is like the biggest character or one of the biggest pranksters? On
Underrated. Let's say underrated.
Okay.
Underrated.
Prankster, like someone that they may surprise you. That is a pretty funny guy.
I gotta go with Joe Bracamane.
Okay.
He is hilarious. The things he does.
We don't need any specific stories unless they're PG, but.
Yeah. He's just funny the way he talks to people and the things he does. It's funny.
Yeah. Now, what is some of the other team chemistry things? Like, how does this team get along? It seems like, it's a very senior-laden team. It's a ton more seniors than I've ever remembered on a team before, something like 23, 24. And does that help you guys, and the fact that you had last year off, has that helped you kind of have more motivation for this year, knowing this is your last ride and we all suffered through that really crappy year last year and this is our last chance?
Yeah. So, I feel like our team has a lot of chemistry. We have a lot of threats. We have all of our long pass game, our short pass game. We have a great line. And our team is definitely fired up to get back out there after missing all that last year and not being able to have any contact. So there's a lot of energy going into every single game we play so far.
Awesome.
And one of our last questions, what would it mean to you specifically to win a state championship this year?
It mean the world to me. That'd be great. That'd be crazy, When I played with my brother, his class, when we lost to Bonnie Eagle, that was a really hard thing to take in, not knowing we didn't win. So it's almost like a revenge tour almost. And it's our last, it's our last senior year. We're not going to play again with each other. So we really want to win this year.
And we'd be remiss without asking. Obviously, huge game coming up tomorrow against Oxford Hills. Undefeated versus undefeated. Coming into the season, it was basically, TA, Bonnie Eagle, Oxford Hills were going to be the big three. You guys took care of Bonnie Eagle on the road, and Oxford Hills and Bonnie Eagle, I think, they played, but it was a close game.
Yep.
So what has Coach been talking about all the week against Oxford Hills, and especially for you as a quarterback? What are you looking, what kind of defense? It's going to be a rough environment because it's going to be on the road. It's going to be pretty chilly up there. So what are you looking forward to this week?
It's definitely going to be a good game. They have a great team. They have a great defense. They have a great offense. They have an incredible coach, so it's going to be a hard game all around. It's going to be who doesn't turn the ball over, who gets more points on the board, obviously, and it'll be a good game for sure.
I forgot to ask before, what is it like, I've been doing this about 11 years or so, being part of the program, near the program, and this has got to be the best collection of skill players I've seen, especially at wide receiver. You have 4 or 5 options. So what is it like as a quarterback knowing, maybe Anthony's not having a great game, but we have Isaiah and we have Nick Stinson and we have, Bryant when he was healthy. What is that like as a quarterback knowing you have that many options?
It's great, honestly. If one of our reads doesn't match up and we have another route running, somebody's always open, so it's good having all those great athletes on the field at once.
Awesome.
Sure.
And just to wrap it up, you want to give a shout out to any of your socials out there?
Shout out to Thorne Academy football.
Awesome. Thanks very much for joining us. Good luck tomorrow night.
Appreciate it.
And we will head back now to the rest of the podcast.
Awesome.
And we want to thank Jack for coming in to do that interview with us. It's definitely awesome to have him here. And now we're going to move over to really the professional sports and talk about the Red Sox. I know we talked about it on the last episode. Mr. C said he called the Red Sox, and I'm not sure if he was too enthusiastic about having to play the Rays. But the Red Sox win the series 3-1. The first game, 5-0 loss. Not the best, but they came back. Couple of big games to the Red Sox. Cole beating the Rays, which is one of the best teams in the league, going against the Astros. Do you have the same kind of enthusiasm, thinking that they might be able to make it, or do you think the Red Sox may struggle against the Astros?
I actually do. I'm very surprised we beat the Rays. It just doesn't make sense with this team. We don't have good pitching, but in baseball, it's not really about who the best regular season team was. It's really about who's hot when it matters. And we definitely have some hot hitters. Kike Hernandez is one of the hottest in the league right now, and the Rays got 100 wins, but the Red Sox were able to beat them, and I think that if they can keep the bats going, that they can beat the Astros. But it's definitely going to be a close series. If Boston can just if their bullpen can continue to hang tight and do well like they did against the Rays, I think they can take it to 6 or 7 games and then maybe even win. But what's your World Series pick?
I don't know. I would love to see the Red Sox win a World Series. I'm probably going to have to go. I'm up to the Astros. I think the Astros are going to win. I'm not sure if the National League has anybody that is a favorite right now. I know that they have some good teams over there, but I'd love to see the Red Sox win. I feel like it's the same thing as 2018. Like, the team that went in the playoffs didn't look like a World Series winning team, and they ended up winning it. So this team is good. I like watching them play. I think that they have a lot of, like you said, guys who don't look like they're going to be good, but definitely came out and played against that in the Rays series. And now we're going to move over to NFL. On week 6 coming up. Both teams, a lot of teams looking good. Some teams not looking too great. Thoughts about the Patriots win over the Texans, and then this upcoming week against the Cowboys?
I mean, a win is a win. Davis Mills played extremely well, which really surprised me because Bill Belichick usually has a great game plan against rookie QBs, but Davis Mills looks sharp, and that really hurt the Patriots. I mean, it was looking extremely frustrating there in the first half, and in the third quarter, you have these no-name receivers putting up big numbers against this defense, which was supposed to be strong, but Judon and the defensive line came through when it mattered, and Mac Jones has been extremely impressive so far. I mean, a win is a win, and then the Cowboys this week, it's going to be really tough to stop that offense. If we couldn't stop Davis Mills and the Texans, it's going to be tough to stop Dak and Amari and CeeDee Lamb and Zeke. But this defense for the Cowboys is playing well too, so I think Mac can just – I mean, we hung up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if Mac can just keep delivering like he has, and I think we have a chance just because we hung with the Bucs. But it's definitely going to be a tough game against the 4-1 Cowboys.
Yeah, so I know we know that at the beginning of the season you picked the Rams to win, and it looks like all odds are in their favor. Russell Wilson, I'm not sure if he dislocated or broke his finger.
Yeah, he's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. Do you think that the Rams are now? Who do you think the Rams are now fighting in the NFC for the top spot, or for the best team in the NFC?
Well, the Buccaneers are looking really sharp. I know they just beat the Bucs, but last year the Bucs struggled to begin the season, and then they turned it on at the end. The Arizona Cardinals have the best record in the NFL. They're the only undefeated team. Kyler Murray is playing crazy good. I didn't really believe in their coaching. I didn't think Kingsbury was that good of a coach, but they're putting together some nice wins. They beat the Rams. They just beat the 49ers. And don't forget about the Packers. The Packers have been to the NFC Championship. Seems like every year. I don't expect this to be the year that they go to the Super Bowl, but they're definitely still a top 3 team in the NFC. The Rams, I still think they're going to the Super Bowl. They have the best defense. Stafford's going to continue to get better. It's his first 5 games with a new coach. I mean, what do you expect? He's gonna keep getting better and better, and he has a lot of great weapons around him to do so.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good matchups this week. I know Baltimore plays the Chargers, and those are two good teams in the AFC. The Bills play the Titans, and that might be where the Titans start to fall off.
Yeah, Bills are playing well.
Yeah, the Bills are. I'm happy. I got Josh Allen on my fantasy team, so he's been performing for me. So now we're gonna move it over just to some non-sports questions. What is Cole? What is your favorite season of weather and why?
I think my favorite season overall is fall. For weather, it's definitely summer. I like warm weather, but just overall, it's fall. I really like watching football. I just really like, the I don't know how to explain it. It's just fall seems cool. Summer's my second favorite season. Winter's my least favorite for obvious reasons. I don't like snow, although I do like to ski. Yeah. But what's your favorite season?
I don't know. I like fall. I like the changing of the foliage, especially here at TA. They have a lot of nice trees that switch colors. I'd say summer's okay. Spring when it's not too rainy. I like the spring when it's nice weather, but definitely winter's at the bottom of the list for me. And then the next question is, what is your favorite type of chip to eat? So that could be anything from Doritos to a type of Lay's chips to whatever. What is your favorite type of chip to eat?
I actually really like salt and vinegar.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like it, but I do. For some reason, they're just addicting. But just plain tortilla chips and salsa are also pretty addicting. I could eat those for a long time.
Yeah, those are good.
You go to a Mexican restaurant and they give you chips and salsa.
Yeah, you have to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my favorite has to be the Humpty Dumpty all-dressed chips. I'm not sure what you would put. I can't put a name on the flavor, but it's got a weird flavor profile, but I love it, and those are my favorite types of chips. And we're going to end here with the streaming schedule for TATV and our live streams. We just had the girls' volleyball game on Tuesday, and so we had the girls' soccer game on Thursday against Deering, and then coming up we have on Tuesday of next week, we have boys soccer versus Biddeford, their last home game at 6:30. Then on Saturday, the 23rd, we have a girls' home playoff game to be determined. They don't look like they're going to be able to fall below 6 or 7, so they should have a home playoff game. But who they're playing and what time they're playing, we'll have to update that. And then on the 30th, our last game for the fall sports season will be football against Scarborough at 1:30. I believe that's on a Saturday afternoon. Cole, do you have any thoughts as we end the episode here?
Nope, just looking forward to the football team playing Oxford Hills tomorrow. Should be a good game. And I'm just glad the week's almost over. It's Thursday, even though it seems like Wednesday. So, yeah.
I want to thank you all for watching, and be back for next week's episode.